What's going on, everyone? Today, let's discuss the best movies of 2023 so far. This has surprisingly been a really good year for movies, and we're only in May. I can't even imagine how many more good movies we'll get by the end of the year. In comparison to 2021 and 22, this year is a step up. Maybe the lower quality in films from those previous years had something to do with COVID. I could be wrong. And it also does feel like we're getting more movies this year because we are well past the COVID-19 pandemic, which is great. And don't get me wrong, there are some incredible movies that came out the last few years. Top Gun Maverick is one of my all-time favorite movies, but this year thus far has been excellent. And I can't wait to see what else 2023 has in store. But without further ado, let's talk about my favorite movies of the year. Going in order from release date, we're starting with the January movie Missing. As a huge fan of the film Searching, I figured they could pull off a sequel, if you want to call this movie a sequel. It has the same concept, but this story has absolutely nothing to do with the movie Searching. And let me say, this film was just as effective as Searching. The setup is perfect. It keeps you on the edge of your seat for nearly 2 hours. The performances across the board are great. They once again nail this concept. There are unexpected twists and turns. This film has everything that Searching had, which is exactly why if you like Searching, you'll definitely like Missing as well. If they can keep making good movies in this format, please make more. I would welcome them with open arms. Next up is Creed 3. This is the 9th installment of the Rocky franchise, and this marked the first movie without Sylvester Stallone. I saw this film only having two potential paths, with Michael B. Jordan making his directorial debut, and this marking the first film in the franchise without Sylvester Stallone. Well, it could have been a really bad movie. That's obvious. Michael B. Jordan has never directed a film, and Sylvester Stallone has been the heart and soul of this franchise since 1976. And for myself and many others, we were unsure whether or not this franchise could remain good without such a great character like Rocky Balboa present. And the other path, which is exactly the path this film went, was getting another engaging story in the Rocky/Creed franchise. Michael B. Jordan showed off his craft. This guy has skills, not just in front of the camera, which, let me say, he gives another terrific performance as Adonis Creed, but he proved himself as a very capable director. I thought he did fantastic behind the camera in this film. From a story perspective, it's refreshing and feels more original. I love how Adonis's past was fleshed out with the introduction to Jonathan Major's character. And for the third straight time, the boxing matches were electric. Sure, this franchise is even better when you have Rocky Balboa, but it doesn't mean this franchise necessarily needs him, because Creed 3 proved we could still get a great movie from this franchise without him. Then along came March's Dungeons and Dragons. I was very excited for this movie. I love fantasies, the cast looked great, the trailers kept me wanting more, and eventually when this movie released in late March, I immediately hoped they would announce a sequel because I loved Dungeons and Dragons. This is probably my favorite movie of the year as of now, and rightfully so. This film was home to some of my favorite new characters in 2023, and everyone in this ragtag team is great. Chris Pine and Regé-Jean Page especially. Regé-Jean Page is awesome in Dungeons and Dragons. I've never seen Bridgerton or The Time Traveler's Wife or anything except for this and what was that stupid Ryan Gosling movie that came out last summer? Who the heck cares? He was great in this movie though, so that's all that matters. Plus, it's a breeze to get through. The fight choreography was exciting. There's a strong, unexpected emotional core, and the movie is one of the funniest of the year. And I'm somebody who's never played the Dungeons and Dragons game that fantasy nerds love playing, but as somebody who hasn't, it didn't matter. The movie did not require me to have any knowledge of the game, and it was the best of both worlds for both non-players and players, because you have all these Easter eggs for people who love the game, and then on the other hand, you just have a really entertaining, fun story for all those who have never played the game like myself. In April, we got Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, his second movie of the year, and this is possibly the best modern war film I've seen. Usually these films are cut and dried, there's a plethora of cliches. The same thing typically happens in modern war films. It's just a variety of action sequences. Maybe you'll see the soldiers at home. They're all the same thing. If you've seen one modern war film, you've seen them all. But The Covenant does whatever it can to separate itself from the cliches of those modern warfare movies, and it actually has a strong story. Jake Gyllenhaal and newcomer Dar Salim are fantastic. They give two of the best performances of the year thus far, and Guy Ritchie, making his second movie of the year, never misses. He has quickly become one of my favorite directors working today. Also, the film precisely examines the human conscience through the lens of war, and seeing its effect on soldiers, translators, and civilians provided a new perspective for myself on the war in Afghanistan. Overall, I was captivated by everything Guy Ritchie's The Covenant had to offer. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's well worth it. Finally, the much anticipated Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. As of right now, Guardians 3 lands in my top 6 best MCU movies. That may surprise some of you. The MCU did have a great track record going for itself from 2014 to 2018, I'm aware of that, but Guardians 3 was a different animal, and it's exactly what the MCU needs right now. This entry in the universe acted as a lifeline to the ever-failing Marvel Studios' bigger picture. Just when I thought Guardians 2 tugged on my heartstrings, Guardian 3 takes it up a notch. My question for you is, are you a human being if you don't cry while watching Guardians 3? This movie has it all. It's just what the doctor ordered. And when comparing this to the other MCU movies outside of Guardians 1 and 2, of course, it's like night and day. The emotions are so much higher, and I feel like every single time I see these characters in a new situation, I care about them even more. For the final time, the characters are great, you're emotionally invested, the villain is solid, it's always compelling, and finishes off the trilogy with a chef's kiss. This movie is amazing, thank you James Gunn, it's everything I wanted it to be. My only hope now is that Gunn's DCU can evoke the same emotions as the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Alright, so in order of release date, those are my 5 picks for the best movies of 2023 so far, but I'm curious to hear all of your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with my top 5? And if you disagree, what would you include on this list instead? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. And of course, as always, if you are new to my channel, click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.